Welcome to City Beat. I am your host, Jaret Schneider. I'd like to start off by thanking Mayor Tim Johnston for being here today.
Good morning.
Good morning. A busy weekend ahead. First off, I'll give you a chance to talk about things that are coming up this weekend.
Yeah, there's, we're back into the fall season, so there's a number of events taking place. This is a big weekend for the community. We've got the Health and Leisure Mart, where we encourage families, individuals to come down, check out the activities that people can get involved with, and sign up for those for the coming fall-winter season. In addition, it's a special weekend for us at Health and Leisure Mart because we're going to be holding the grand opening of the Thompson Regional Community Center. Encourage people to come down Saturday. The ribbon cutting will take place at 1 o'clock. We've got some announcements to make, but throughout Health and Leisure Mart, Friday night as well as all day Saturday, there will be tours of the facilities. There'll be demonstrations on in the Regional Community Center. So encourage people to come down and take a look at what we've been able to do as a community for both Thompson and the region.
204-677-8181, taking your calls directly to the mayor, 677-8181. I'll back things up first. There was a council meeting on Monday. One of the bylaws carried was the bylaw to reduce speed limits within the school zones. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Well, this is one that received second reading approval on Monday night, which means it still has to be passed a third time. We're looking for feedback from the community. We have a survey on the website encouraging people to take a look at it. This was enabled because of legislation by the province of Manitoba that allowed municipalities to set the speed limit in school zones. The committee has been working on it, and as I said, it's now gone through second reading. We'll go to the next regular meeting of council for third reading. In the interim, we encourage people to get onto our website. There is a survey online. I've looked at the results. So far, overwhelming support for the speed zones, and interestingly, speed zones at all the schools, both elementary and the high school, and to look at ensuring that those are in place for the majority of the year. So if people have comments, please talk to your council members or go on and complete the survey.
Awesome. You talked about this weekend, the grand opening is for the newly renovated TRCC. What does this mean for the community to have this gorgeous facility?
Well, I think that this has been a long time coming. I tell people I first got involved when my oldest son was 5, and he's 22 now, and my hope was that he was going to be able to use the facility. It's taken a long time, far too long, in fact, but the end result I'm very pleased with. It provides, I think, this community with a facility for many years to come for a variety of activities. And what I really like about this facility now is that we've gone from just being a facility with 2 arenas and some add-ons. We've really gone to a community center, and everything I think is first class in terms of the work that has been done. I want to thank all those people that have been involved as volunteers, as fundraisers, as sponsors, as partners, and I'm very proud of the facility. I think it'll enable this community to continue in terms of a healthy lifestyle, and I think that's very positive.
Absolutely. 204-677-8181. Taking your calls directly to the mayor, 204-677-8181. For the grand opening, do you have any idea if the canteen is going to be open?
We have not been able to. It's one of the real challenges in the facility is to confirm a concession operator. We went to a tender. We're working with one individual right now, and we certainly want to have those services provided, and we'll continue to work on doing that. But it's, as I was telling some people, it's a lot more difficult these days than it was perhaps previously. There's a lot of regulations that people have to abide by, and so we're going to work hard to try and get some services in the building for people. We do know that as we move along with the construction of UCN, there will be some of those services provided through that facility as well. But we'll work to ensure that when people attend the facility, that it is comfortable and those services are provided.
Yeah, absolutely. 204-677-8181, taking your calls directly to the mayor. R.D. Parker Collegiate will be having their 50th anniversary on the weekend of the 28th to October 1st. It's definitely, I know it's a big event coming up. Would you like to talk a little bit about that and maybe what it's going to bring for the community?
Well, we had a delegation at council on Monday night and to update council and the community on some of the activities. They have a full weekend planned in terms of events, and as both the 50th for the Thompson High School, R.D. Parker, and as well as Riverside School. So it's going to be interesting to see, hopefully, a lot of people coming back to the community. And I wish the organizing committee all the best. They've done a great job in terms of promoting the community, and hopefully people will come, and it'll be a good time for all those that may have attended at either one of those schools, and they'll come back with some fond memories and leave with some new memories of the city of Thompson.
Absolutely. 204-677-8181, taking your calls directly to the mayor. The RCMP report came up at the council meeting, and from January to the end of June 2012 versus 2011, overall calls for service are down by almost 700 calls. It's a great thing. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that it's not a surprise to us. We track the numbers on a monthly basis, so we're aware of that. We work very cooperatively with the RCMP. We've tried to take a real focus on some specific areas: the drugs, the gangs, domestic violence, and certainly on addictions, which to me is the single largest contributor, I believe, to our crime issues in this community stems from addiction. So I'm very pleased with the trending of the numbers. We're seeing decreases in the right areas in terms of things like assaults, although we had some issues in terms of it seems more aggravated assaults are increasing. That is a huge concern to us, but again, not necessarily a surprise. But certainly the trending there is going in the right direction in terms of decrease overall in the assaults. The trending in terms of the break and enter are going the right direction. And those numbers are decreasing. We do have some numbers increasing, and quite frankly, those are trending in the right direction as well. We have an increase in terms of the amount of charges laid in terms of drugs. I think that's a positive thing. That means we're out in the community more, focusing on that. We're trending in the right direction in terms of ensuring that things like traffic are being looked at. And I remind people that with school starting this week, we're going to have an added presence of the RCMP and the PBLE in the school zones. So overall, I was pleased with the RCMP stats for the first 6 months. We will endeavor to bring the stats on a quarterly basis, because all too often I think people's perception of public safety is largely driven by rumors in this community or assumptions, as opposed to really the stats and the facts. And believe me, I'm not minimizing the issue we have. I did an interview yesterday and clearly indicated that yes, we acknowledge we are #1 in violent crime in this country. That is not something I'm very proud of. That's why we're focusing on certain areas, and we're starting to see those results, and we'll continue to do that. So we want to make sure the public is aware of and has accurate information, so they can, the perception of public safety is based on reality and not necessarily rumor or things that people assume.
Absolutely, yeah. They have been trending in the right way, the positive way. 204-677-8181, taking your calls directly to the mayor. 204-677-81. First off, the bylaw officers are going to be around for a little bit longer.
Yeah, we again this year we brought the bylaw officers back for the a specific focus on the summer season and on the downtown strategy. They will be in place likely to the October long weekend. Again, it all depends on weather too. I think if weather holds, we'll want to ensure that we keep some of that focus in that downtown area. Following this summer, we're going to do a complete review. We've already talked to the RCMP about some of their stats. I was very pleased on Monday that the RCMP also had stats specifically related to the downtown and the number of, for example, times they were out on the street doing walkabouts, things like that. So we'll evaluate that. We need to move forward with a continued presence. I'm hoping the province will respond with the introduction of a cadet program for rural Manitoba. I've said it before, the Premier made that promise in the last election. We haven't seen it yet. We continue to put pressure on the Minister of Justice. We need that cadet program. And so we'll evaluate, and we need to keep that focus, that emphasis on the behaviors in the downtown. It's not where I want it to be by all means, but I'll tell you this, you just have to keep working at it.
All right, I believe we do have a call. Roy, please ask your question and hang up to hear the response.
Okay, Tim, you can hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, my question to you is, when are you going to fix the road into the cemetery so I can get in there without a four-wheel drive vehicle?
Roy, that is a great question. I can tell you that we are doing a fair amount, considerable more work at the cemetery this year than in previous years because, quite frankly, it's been an area that unfortunately has largely been ignored for too long. The road is a difficult road. It's a very soft road. We had to go into the cemetery area this year to open up a new section with additional plots because we had run out of space at the cemetery. So in doing that, we had to take a fair bit of heavy equipment across the road. That really kicked the substance out of the road. We're going to try and firm it up. We need the weather to cooperate. But I want to talk a little bit about the cemetery because we've made a commitment this year, and I thank Council for putting some money in the budget to open up the new section. We're going in there hopefully in the next week or two to sod the area. We've increased the parking place. We removed a rusty old fence that was the first image for people, and we put some boulders in there. We're going to try and make it look similar to the King Minor site in terms of the appearance. And so it needs work. We are fully aware the road needs work, and we are committed to doing that. We need the weather to cooperate, and we need to finish the work with the heavy equipment. I think that'll be done in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll firm up the road.
All right, the Health and Leisure Mart are having their weekend with the Northern Market this weekend. It's another big thing for this community and a great event to look forward to.
Yeah. It's, a Health and Leisure Mart is something that goes back a long time, and we'll look forward to people getting out. It's a great time. I think this is really the transition weekend from summer to the fall-winter schedules, and encourage people to come out. This community has so many activities for people to look at that really I don't think if anyone wants to get active, there will be a choice and there's an opportunity, and I encourage people, believe me, it is a long, often cold winter, to get through it, get active, get involved, and it goes a lot faster and a lot more enjoyable.
And I believe we have a call from William. Please ask your question and hang up to hear the response.
Hi, Tim. I just have a question about the long-term plan for the city's expansion. Do you see a day that we will be going across the river, and when will that happen?
Excellent question. A couple things. I do see the day that we will go across the Burntwood River. The current boundaries of the city of Thompson extend north of the river. I think we can do that now differently because of the services that are now provided, the movement of water, sewage, things like that. We've always had a plan to look at larger estate-type lots right now planned for in around the golf course area. We've also had the demand for hobby farm lots, so we're looking at that as well north of the river. I think that we likely can accommodate those types of things, again, because of the services that are now provided. The city looked at it about 20 years ago, and those services weren't there. It didn't happen. So I can see the sort of residential, hobby-type, estate-type lots being developed north of the river without too much effort, in all honesty, although limited services. In terms of commercial development and retail development, we're working very hard to expand the existing boundaries, and we work very closely with Valley and the province of Manitoba, and we have got approval to expand the boundaries in 3 areas. One of the biggest is an 88-acre parcel, which will be called Yale Newman, which will likely provide some commercial and residential space. So that's good news in that that will fit in with some of the existing infrastructure. But absolutely, I see us expanding north of the river, and I think that we have some opportunities. And I think if we do that, it hopefully will continue to attract people to maybe look at staying a little bit longer in Thompson if we can provide that variety of residential options.
All right, and last, I'll give you a minute to wrap, minute and a half to wrap things up, close things up for with any messages for the residents.
Well, I appreciate those questions. I really do. Very good questions. And as I reminded council on Monday night and the public, I really appreciate when people take the time to pick up the phone and give me a call or send me an email or stop me on the street and ask a question. And again, my cell 679-0915. I guess I got to throw in 204 now because you need to do that. But you know, it makes a big difference, I think, and that you get a chance to explain why we're doing things or how we're doing things. And so I appreciate people asking the questions, and I encourage them to ask myself as well as members of council. We all are very proud of Thompson. We all like to talk about it, so I encourage people to keep asking the questions. In terms of just a bit of a wrap-up, a reminder, school is starting this week. Please take caution in and around the school zones. Further, we're back doing some work in and around the community. We've got two areas that we're working on heavily. One is obviously Thompson Drive South. The crews are back on. I noticed today when I drove by on the way here that one of the new curbs is down, so it looks great. And we're also doing some work up in the Brandon area, Princeton Drive, where we're putting in some accessible sidewalk access points. And so again, I encourage people, please take caution in and around our crews. We're going to do that as fast as we possibly can. Once we're done that, we'll finish off some of the potholes and some of the repairs to the roads that people have been asking about. And so I appreciate the patience, cooperation of the public. Encourage people to get out this weekend. And I understand the weather's going to be good, so get out, enjoy everything that Thompson has to offer.
All right, and thank you, Mayor Johnston, and that will wrap things up for this week. We'll be back once again next week on Thursday at 11:30. Thanks for the calls, and to all the listeners, enjoy the rest of your day.
City Beat will be back next Thursday morning at 11:30 with